What's up, everybody? This is Aaron here on Wrath 2501, here with the deck profile. Now, of course, the ban list. They possibly just killed the Zodiac deck, and they hit the Draco deck pretty hard too. Of course, some got banded, pretty much the Knight. The Ignis Heat got hit to 1. And of course, they hit a couple of the trap cards. Or I would say only one trap card, which is they didn't hit the King. Returns King. They only put it to 1. And yes, this deck, of course, got hit. And possibly people don't run this deck anymore. But I do, because I figured out a way of how this deck can work if you combine it with other decks. The one I combined it with, and it works well for me, is the Monarchs. So further ado, here we go. The Draco engine, one masterpiece, one of the most brutal, most powerfulest ones out of the whole Draco deck of Draco monsters. 2950 attack and defense. So the masterpiece is considered, well, not just by the attack and defense, but as a pretty brutal effect, which everybody knows. And yes, just one. Of course, you could use 2 or 3 since it did not get really hit, but I think 1 is just good enough. The 1, Majesty's Maiden. Of course, another Draco. Pretty decent effect, because anytime a card effect is played, and that's on the field, on your turn, you can search for any Draco monster from the deck to your hand. So, 1. And of course, yeah, Ignis Heat got 1. Only 1 now you can use, and I think 1 is good enough still. Because this one, of course, the Ignis Heat, search out for any magic card of a Draco from your deck to your hand, and you can even play it on the exact same turn you just got that card from the deck to your hand. Now, of course, no more Knight, because that was the particularly brutalest one of getting any trap cards. Now, of course, yeah, there's only a couple now, so I'd say only use at least 3 Draco cards. There are 3 monsters right there. I think that's good enough. So those are the monsters for the Dracos. Now we go to the Monarchs. 1 Ether. Of course, the main boss monster of all the Monarchs. The most powerful one out of all. Still, this sucks of how they only put it to 1. Because when it was still at 3, it was just brutal as hell. So of course, the 1 Ether. 2 Erebus. The second best, possibly best monster out of the whole entire Monarchs. Still, of course, yeah, I think only 2 is good enough. I don't think you should run 3. 2 I think is fine. So 2 Erebus. 1 Caius, the Shadow Monarch. 1 Mobius, the Frost Monarch. 1 Mega Caius, the Monarch. 1 Mobius, the Mega Monarch. And of course, yes, people say don't, but I say do, is 3 of the Bobamboons. Reason why? You normal summon this, you can draw your card, top card, see it, what it reveals compared to your other cards, choose one of them, go back to the bottom of the deck, or you can just put it back face up. When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon out as many. So let's just say 1, bring back the other 2. Their effects goes, draw 1, put 1 card to the bottom of the deck, draw the other one, since they're 2, put it to the top of the deck. Pretty decent, pretty cool. Those are my monsters. Now explain it in a bit of why I chose Caius and Mobius than any of the other Monarchs. So, I'll explain later. Those are my monsters. Magic cards. 3 Pot of Duality. Now, of course, this deck you really don't actually special summon. It's just going to be tributed. So, it's really not that much of a big difference with Pot of Duality. Of course, you draw your 3. Choose one. Of course, you can't special summon, but who cares? You're not going to special summon with this deck, so it really doesn't affect you like I just said. But of course, yeah, you must reveal the 3 to your opponent. Choose which one you wish to choose. Put it to your hand. 2 domain. Of course, people would run 3, but I say 2 because you're not going to really want to run that much in this deck because you must combine with your other Draco cards or any other kind of cards you're going to want to put in the deck to make this deck work. So I say 2 is good enough for me. Of course, you can run 3. You choose, but I run 2. 2 Tenacity. Of course, yeah, still Monarch decks you would want to run 3, but these are just my choices, and I choose 2. 2 Tenacity. You're searching. 1 March of the Monarchs. 1 Return of the Monarchs. Of course, 1 Pantheism. It still sucked, they still put it at 2, but of course, yes, you're gonna have to run at least 1 because that's your draw power. So 1 Pantheism, staple for any Monarch deck. And the Monarch Stormforth. Still at 1. Just sucks, but doesn't suck if you're still playing it, but it just sucks that you haven't put it to 3 or whatever, because possibly, yeah, it would still be broken as hell. Now, for the Draco. 1 Disciples. Now, the only reason why I don't run 2 or 3 is because there are not that many more Dracos to put in the deck. Since Ignacy got hit to 1, and possibly the best one to get your trap cards, Knight. Of course, got Bandit. So 1 I run. 1 Heritage. I don't run more because you don't have any more, like I just said. So 1 I think is fine. And of course the 1 Dark Hole and the 1 Raigeki. Now those are the magic cards. Now we go to the trap cards. 2 Prime of the Monarch. Not 3. I go 2. 1 Monarch Syrup. Now this is a new one. People don't use, I don't think, anymore, or I don't know if they are, but I use it. Of course, activate this card if you have no cards in your action deck, which particularly you're not going to do it with Monarchs. And control a tribute monster. Negate all the effects of all monsters that are face up on the field except tributed monsters. During the end phase, if you control no monsters, send this card to the graveyard. Now, particularly, you would want to run this because, of course, you're going to knock out your opponent from using any effects or them using any effects. It's not going to affect on you. So, there you go. That's the reason why you would want to run the Monarch Syrup. I run it. I don't know if you guys are going to run it or are going to even try to run it. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Your choice. Now we go to the Waterfall of Dragon Souls. I used to run 3, but basically since this deck got hit, I only switched it to 1. And 1 I think is fine because you're not going to run that many Dracos in a deck anymore. Of course, your trap card is search for any Draco. Let's say you don't have one yet, but you wanted one. There's your option right there. 1. Of course, everyone's favorite trap card, but got hit to 1, so just only use 1. True King's Return. Of course, maybe the best trap card out of the Dracos, but as we just heard, and I just heard, and I just told you, it got put to 1. 1 True Draco Apocalypse. Now I wanted to make some room in this deck, and I think one of each of the magic cards and one of each of the trap cards I think is fine because you're not running that anymore Dracos. Let's just say the 3 I just said. I think 3 is just fine. And just combine it with whatever you could think of, which I just chose Monarchs. Your 1 Storming Mirror Force. The 1 Quaking Mirror Force. 1 Mirror Force. 1 Lose 1 Turn. I think this is still pretty good if you use it with Dracos or any other kind of deck that you're going to stop your opponent with. And the 1 Mistake. I did 2 Mistake. I did lose 1 turn. I used 2. Then, of course, you just want to make room. So I chose 1 of each. And I say they're still pretty good. And last but not least, your 3 Solemn Strikes. Trap cards, yeah, you're going to have to use with Monarchs. Of course, people didn't, but I say you do now. And that's just the way I think this deck should run. Now, of course, with the primes, the mistakes, you're gonna have to at least run those if you want to play the effect of using the Dracos, tributing by your Magic and Trap cards. Same goes with Return of the Kings and March of the Monarchs. Continuous, and you can still use them for your tributes. And for the masterpieces they're thrown in the graveyard, you want to pop cards on the field. Be my guess, but yes, of course, people would want to use that effect for the masterpiece. So, this is my Monarch Draco deck. I still think this can work. And again, I would tell you right now, which I will, why I chose Mobius and Caius. Caius because it's my favorite Monarch out of all, and of course possibly the most brutalist one out of all because it banishes. And of course when you have Mega Caius, pop 2 cards in the field, and of course, like their effects also, the regular Caius, if you hit a dark monster, take 1,000 points of damage. The Caius Mega, pop 2 cards are going to get banished, and you're still going to take 1,000 points of damage rather if you hit a dark or not. Now the Mobius, because you want to pop cards that are magic and traps. Everyone hates the magic and traps, so that's why I chose Mobius. And Mega Mobius, you pop 3. If it was tributed by a water, it becomes a Night Beam. Pop the 3, they can't do anything. They can't respond to it. Now, of course, you can use the Stalos if you want to take out your opponent's cards. You want to run Zaborg, pop the monsters, you can. But Caius and Mobius, I think, are very, very consistent to me and very, very working well with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you all like this deck, enjoyed it. Maybe you want to make this, maybe you don't. But I am showing you now my Draco Monarch deck. Peace.